I am infatuated with indigenous science and traditional ecological knowledge. Traditional ecological knowledge are the old sciences that exist from different bioregions that are so sophisticated and so undervalued in modern society. And Golga's work has really sophisticated traditional ecological knowledge techniques, and I really wanted to highlight those to just really elevate the visibility and the status of something that I think in society is undervalued. The ways that they're engaging in cultural revitalization in the North around preparing hides, something that's been around for thousands of years, and they're learning it again. They're making sure that it doesn't go by the wayside. And those sciences are far more spiritual than just, Western science. These ideas of how everything's connected, those old techniques speak to the health of the environment, the health of the culture, and beauty.
Kara's a mover and a shaker.
Her vision is broad.
She's just very nice, driven, down to earth.
So humble. You feel like you're not going to be exploited.
Such a beautiful person, like inside and out.
I don't know how she does it.
Well, I just kind of follow her around like a puppy.
She's everything, yeah. All the good stuff.
I grew up kind of straddled between cultures. My dad's Native American and my mom is Anglo. And I had this experience after my parents split of going back and forth between the Chemehuevi Valley Indian Reservation and this urban epicenter of Houston, Texas. And as I grew to mature as an artist, the art began to be a fusion of those two worlds. Sometimes you just have that one instructor and it changes your life. And his name was Bill Thomas at the University of Houston. And I had never picked up a camera before. Coming into the dark room at the university at that age was really intimidating. And Bill emphasized content over technical ability. And it took me a while for my craft to catch up to my mind, but it changed my life. And I just had this really healthy compulsion that happens when you find your thing. Always wanted to get better. I always had more stories to tell, like a never-ending wellspring of ideas. I think that all artists that are in school begin by emulating what's out there. Who are the greats? For Native photography, that was really Edward Curtis. So my early black and white photographs are sepia toned. They were often asking my friends to, dress up in regalia and let's go do this figurative landscape piece. And I'm really proud of the work. But at some point, I was able to identify that content was disingenuous. They captured the world's imagination, but they also contributed to this pause in time. I was like, we don't even do this, who does this in our Native community? And so it kind of became this funny examination of why are we continuing to represent ourselves in this historic context. Native Americans, we often get framed as only living in our isolated parallel universe when we're actually thriving in urban epicenters and really astute in pop culture. And then simultaneously, we have a lot of tradition that's been around for a very long time.
Many times, we tend to view culture or tradition as these stagnant paradigms. And I think really culture gets more of a stream that flows through time. As it hits a rock, which could be capitalism, manifest destiny, cultural appropriation, river has to flow around and over it and adjust itself. Otherwise, it shrinks and dries up. and becomes non-existent. Tara really has her pulse on what's relevant in our culture today.
Pop culture is a really useful visual tool to help people understand the modernity of my community. Using iconic landscapes like the wind turbines of Palm Springs or the famous Abbey Road, the work with Marcus Ammerman, with Buffalo Man, and all of those pop cultural references, I was like, I'm gonna make these photographs that show that we understand your culture. Humor is medicine, but it does also have all of these unintended outcomes. It really does keep us safe from exploitation and this need to have insight into our cultural privacy or our ceremonies, our traditions. We're human.